Good morning, welcome to another video of Scientology sermons in YouTube. My name is Alejandra Dingler, and today I'm going to present to you another sermon with L.Ronald Hubbard actually explaining to you and giving you some data about Scientology and about you, yourself, your life, the reaction and interaction of you and others around you. And I hope you find it very interesting and very useful. Today we're going to talk about Scientology and the reactive mind. All right, so the reactive mind, what is this? Scientology, you probably have heard the word before. If not, there are other videos that can help you understand what Scientology is and so on that are recorded here in YouTube. You can find them. But what is the reactive mind? This is probably a newer term for you that you haven't heard ever. And so I'm going to explain it to you through L.Ronald Hubbard. The reactive mind is that thinkingness, that state of thinking, which goes on without analytical inspection. So it's not analytical, it's not conscious, it's not something you can actually predict or know. And by not analytical, I mean all these responses or ways that a certain place makes you feel without any logical explanation, fears. A person who has never had an accident, for example, on an airplane and has never really crashed, or a person who hasn't had an accident on water, and still when they are in front of this, they fear it. They have, how can I explain? They have a fear of it, even when nothing is happening in present time. Does it make sense? Even a person who has had an accident in a car or an airplane or on any other type of vehicle, for example, later can actually get on that vehicle and just feel the panic and the anxiety of having to be on that vehicle, in spite of the fact that in that moment it's not happening anymore. Does it make sense? Unexplainable jealousy. People who are super jealous and they have no reason to be, or not even super jealous, they're just jealous in general, but they have no reason to be. The wife or the spouse has never given any idea or any proof that they could feel jealous, or they're not even looking at other people, and the other person is like very jealous or something like that. So this is what I'm talking about. These reactions, I can mention a million type of reactions, a million type of physical ailments that have no explanation. You go to the doctor, you get some x-rays, there's no explanation for that pain that you have on your knee every Christmas, and in spite of that, it is the pain that you have, and then you start blaming it on the cold, on the season, and many other logical explanations, but really there is no explanation. So this is what I'm talking about, and what I refer on the reactive mind is that thinkingness which goes on without analytical inspection. Only Dianetics, and by Dianetics is that branch, let's say, of Scientology which specializes on the study and the use and the betterment of the mind. So obviously the reactive mind enters into this field which is called Dianetics, which is one of the branches of Scientology, we could call it, okay? So only Dianetics laid bare the full anatomy of the reactive mind. That anatomy is concerned with mental image pictures. Mental image pictures, this is how we actually store our memories and stuff. We store it on mental image pictures. We have pictures and images of things we have seen or things we have lived. Does it make sense? So I ask you to think about a small black kitten, and then you will bring to memory an image of a kitten. Each image and each memory is your own. Other people would have other different type of memories. Still a black kitten, but different. Does it make sense? So the anatomy then is concerned with mental image pictures, ordinarily unseen by the person, which nevertheless dictate his illnesses and responses. The reactive mind is all this content of image pictures that are unseen by the person, which nevertheless dictate his illness and responses. The primary characteristic of the reactive mind is response to a situation without analytical inspection. It's something that is automatic. You don't inspect it. It's just the way someone acts or reacts to some action or activity around the person. Does it make sense? People react without volition, without willing, without deciding it. They do strange things when confronted with stimuli. A person looks at them in a weird way, in that specific way, and they just feel anger or they feel sad. Does it make sense? Offer a man a cup of coffee. He twitches. Ugh. The cup is not doing anything, but he twitches. He doesn't know why he did it. Wink at a girl, and she gets an earache. She doesn't know why she did. This is a reactive mind at work. Think of going for a drive, get tired, decide to study, get a stomachache. These are reactive mind actions. And the pity of it is, the man didn't know it was the cup of coffee that made him twitch. The girl didn't know it was the wink which gave her an earache. Because it is an illogical connection. But that is the stock-in trade of the reactive mind. Everything equals everything. If you really want to know more about this strange mind, you should study Dianetics, the modern science of mental health thoroughly. This is a book that you can get. Obviously, you can ask me where you can get it, and depending on the city you are at and the language you want it on, I can actually have it sent to you, and this is really interesting anywhere in the world. So if you really want to know more about this strange mind, the reactive mind, you should study Dianetics, the modern science of mental health thoroughly. It's enough here to say it exists and accounts for all one's unaccountable actions. Scientology went upstairs from Dianetics into the area of the spirit. And if you were wondering, so Dianetics is one of the branches of Scientology. So then what is Scientology? So Dianetics is specifically only about the mind, okay? And more specifically, the reactive mind, okay? But it's both the analytical and the reactive mind, the study of both. And actually a third one there is, but this is another conference that we can talk about later. So Scientology went upstairs from Dianetics into the area of the spirit. But that didn't mean that all we knew was forgotten. Far from it. In Scientology, we find the source of creation, of good, of evil. We also find the source of the reactive mind. The spirit is the source of all. You are a spirit. These are basic lessons of Scientology. You are a spirit. So it is the spirit, the source of all. These are heady lessons. They are not easily learned. Man would rather be approached slowly than leapt upon. He shudders away from truth when truth seeks to pinpoint him as the responsible party. In Scientology, we have found that a person can be so far below apathy that he doesn't know what he's doing. And so he can have a reactive mind. In clearing, the reactive mind vanishes. By clearing, we mean bringing a person to the state of clear through auditing. And auditing is this processing, which is the spiritual therapy, to call it somehow, the spiritual therapy that Scientology provides, and Dianetics also. It is called processing. And you can reach this state, the state of clear, which is bringing the person to the state of clear where the reactive mind vanishes. This mind that is unknown to you, that you have no idea why it's there, what it contains, how it actually affects you, but you do have some idea of this because you see the consequences in life. You get into a place and you feel weird. A person looks at you in a specific manner and you just feel angry. You have reactions that you don't want, that you are not putting there consciously. Does it make sense? So basically, this is a very important subject and very important topic. And as L.Ronald Hubbard explains here, man, it's better to blame others for this kind of things than actually saying, wow, I think I have some responsibility for this. Does it make sense? So in Scientology, then, we have found that a person can be so far below apathy that he doesn't know what he's doing. And so he can have a reactive mind. In clearing, the reactive mind vanishes. Imagine this state. Freud's unconscious is conquered territory. The German psychologist, quote, mind, unquote, is conquered territory. Conquest comes in clearing. There are many real proofs of this. A reactive mind can be seen on a lie detector or any skin galvanometer. This is a device which detects small electric currents. When it is gone, these machines do not react on that person. And there are other proofs as substantial. That Scientology has whipped the reactive mind is brand new news. That the ills of man can be healed only by an address to the spirit is news. In Scientology, it is a large forward step to find that the reactive mind vanishes before the strong spirit. Only a strong spirit, only a strong person, someone who's willing to confront and to see what is in there and how it has taken over and how uncontrolled it is. Only a strong spirit can actually reach this. The spirit is the source of all creation. You are a spirit. You understand? The spirit is the source of all creation, and you are a spirit. So, this is the end of this sermon. I hope it wasn't too strong and too hard on you to learn this truth. But if you are willing to continue to listen to the sermons and know more about you and continue maybe reading about Scientology and maybe one day willing to receive some processing of Scientology, which you can do in any church or organization or mission of Scientology around the world, and with specialized and trained people like myself on delivering processing of Scientology, we can help you to actually unravel this mystery of your mind and how you cannot access that. Trust me, there are mysteries and there are things that are out of your sight and it's not logical, but it is able to be handled. Does it make sense? So I invite you to continue watching these sermons, to watch other sermons, which the link are going to be around here, that you can watch about Scientology, about being a religion or whatever. Subscribe to the page so that you can get the alert on new videos, and know that every Sunday I'm going to be here on the videos of Scientology sermons here on YouTube, and it would be awesome if you can leave your comments and your messages. I will read them eventually and answer to each one of you. If you have more questions about Scientology, come and ask me, or just keep coming to the sermons and watch them and invite others to watch them too. It will be very interesting to know what you're learning and what data you're finding interesting. My name is Alejandra Dingler. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next Sunday on the next YouTube video for sermons of Scientology. Bye.